Hey, welcome back to part 6. We have just finished writing in all our flute notes, and we've got to get to writing in the piano notes, which is done the same way, but there's a couple little things. Also, I wanted to show you something just in case. You'll notice at the end of my score, after I typed in my last flute notes, it added a measure, and we don't want that measure here. So we are going to highlight that measure, if we can find the magic button that does that. And we're going to go to Measure Tool in our pull-down menus over here. And we want to delete that measure. So just hit Delete Measure, and now that measure is gone. And it is that simple. If you accidentally do the wrong measure or it takes too many, then go back to your Undo button, and it will be there again. And if you meant to do it and undid it, you can hit your Redo button, and it'll redo it again. So it's pretty awesome. That's just like all your other documents you've ever used on laptops and computers with the undo. So easy cheesy. All right, so the piano, you'll notice over here on our sample score, has more than one note written on each line. Other than that, the notation is the exact same, but we also have a dotted rhythm, and I want to show you how to do that. So we're going to need to click on a measure to get into writing in that measure, and we need to, let's do the top piano line first. So the treble clef, we have two notes, an E and a G. It doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to choose a G. So I have a G and it's a quarter note. I need it to be a half note. So go up to my duration and I change it to a half note. Now we actually need a dotted half note. So over here on your duration tool is the dot. So we want to make sure we're on the right note here, and we're going to then click the dot, and now it's a dotted half note. And it is that easy. Very cool. We also need an E below it. So we just, again, if you put your cursor above it, you'll notice the little ghost note shows up again. We want that to be on an E, and we're going to click the E, and now we have both notes. And it is that easy. Our next note needs to be a quarter note, so it already is. Now that time, I used my arrow keys. I was on this note, and I used my arrow keys on my computer to slide over. Otherwise, it would have typed my next note in as a half note with a dot on it. So this time I slid over, and since there was a quarter rest there, you'll notice the duration up here says quarter rest. Well, we need a quarter note, and we need an A and a D. And again, it doesn't matter which one you do. I did the top one before. I'll do the bottom one this time. So here's a D. So that is correct. And then I want to slide this back, click there, and make sure you're on the right note. Slide this until your ghost note gets at the A. And there you go. You now have the top part done, and you've learned how to do a dotted rhythm. We also need the bottom, so the bass clef. And this is done the same way, so this is just redundant, but I'll show you again anyway. So we need C's, and we need a quarter, half, quarter rhythm. So we want to click on that measure, and we can go ahead and click quarter if we want. It'll change that to quarter, or you can just click a note and then change the rhythm. Either way, doesn't matter. So I'm going to click a quarter. There's my C. The next note, if I use my arrow key to slide over, is a quarter. I'm going to change it to a half. Now it's a half rest until I actually click a note in there. So now it's a half note. The last one needs to be a quarter, and it already is. So I'm just going to click there. There you go. There's the rhythm. But we need, you'll notice, we need to have this done in octaves. So we have a low C and a high C on the bass clef. Well, that's easy. We're going to come up, click on the measure, and use your mouse to scroll up until it's on the high note, and then just click another C in there above the one that was there. Oh, it changed that one. Don't freak out. You can either click on it or move your arrow key over to it, and then go back up to your duration and make it a half note. So don't freak out if it changes a rhythm. You can change all that stuff. And then the last one, Same process. There we go. So we have now finished our first bottom staff. I'm going to show you a cheat. It's not a cheat. It's a what do we call it? It's just a tool for making life easier. You'll notice that on the bass clef, you play this rhythm right here, the first rhythm in the bottom line, 1 more times, 2 more times, 3 more times, 4 more times, 5 more times, 6 more times. So we're going to click on this measure and we're going to copy it. To copy it, you hit Command C. Nothing will happen on the computer screen when you do this, but it has happened. And then, really neat, click on the next measure and hit Command V, and it'll copy it. And then if you do the next measure, same deal, Command V, Command V, Command V, Command V, and then the last one is that measure. Pretty awesome. I think there's also a way, if you highlight, oh, don't add a note, highlight multiple measures and hit V. No, it does not do that. I was hoping there was a shortcut that it would copy it into all of them, but it doesn't. So you just have to type it into each measure with Command V. But now the bass clef, except for the last measure, is done. And the last measure starts with the same note and then has a quarter note on low G and then 2 low octave Cs. So then you just put that in there your normal way. So we need C, C, G, and then we want 2 low Cs, but we want those to be half note. Oh, gotta click on it. Half note. And we need the lowest C underneath it. Way down there. Oh, and it added the measure again. So we have to highlight that, go to measure, and then put delete measure. And that's it. So the bass clef is done. On the piano, you just have to go in and fill in the rest of the treble clef. But you'll notice on the treble clef, the second measure is the same as the first measure. So is this one. There it is. And so is this one right here. And this one, and this one, and this one. So you can use that same step, that same process to finish the treble clef in the piano. I'll see you for part 7.